5 years and this is how it ends?
The rejection letter sat on my desk like a death sentence. 5 years of my life, reduced to 3 typed paragraphs and a signature I knew better than my own. I traced my finger over the words, my hand shaking so badly the paper rustled. I, Marcus Blackwood, Alpha of the Silver Moon Pack, formally request the dissolution of our mate bond. I should have seen it coming. I should have known the moment she walked back into our territory with her designer luggage and practiced smile. My half-sister Elena, perfect, pure-blooded, everything I was not. You're still here. Marcus stood in the doorway of what used to be our office, our shared space. Now he looked at me like I was a stranger who had overstayed her welcome. I lifted my eyes to meet his. I built this company with you. Every strategy, every deal, every success, I was there. And I'm grateful. His voice was cold, formal. The voice he used with business partners, not with the woman who had shared his bed for 5 years. But Elena is my true mate. I can feel it in my wolf's soul. Surely you understand. I understand that you're throwing away 5 years for a woman who left you without a word. My voice came out steady, strong. I was proud of that. A woman who only came back when she heard you'd built an empire. His jaw tightened. You're being unfair to Elena, am I? I stood, gathering the papers from my desk. Did you know she's been telling the pack members that I trapped you? That I used my position to seduce you before you could find your real mate? That's not. He stopped, and I saw the flicker of doubt in his eyes. But it wasn't enough. It would never be enough. This isn't about Elena. It's about us. We don't have that connection, Nora. We never did. My name sounded wrong in his mouth now, like he was talking to someone he barely knew. We had something, I said quietly. Maybe not the magical bond you wanted, but we had trust, partnership, love, or so I thought. I do care about you, don't. I held up my hand. Don't insult me by pretending this is anything other than what it is. You want her. She's pure-blooded, connected, beautiful. I'm just a mixed-blood alpha who was convenient until something better came along. The words hung between us, sharp and true. Marcus shifted uncomfortably. The Pack Council has approved my request. The bond will be severed in 3 days at the full moon ceremony. I've prepared a settlement package. Keep your money. I walked toward the door, stopping just beside him. Close enough to smell his scent one last time, pine and smoke and everything that used to mean home. I don't want anything from you, Nora. Be reasonable. You'll need what I need. I interrupted. It's for you to sign the release papers for all the projects I led. If you're throwing me away, at least let me leave with my work. He nodded stiffly. Of course. That's fair. Fair. Nothing about this was fair. I walked out of the office, my head high, my spine straight. I didn't let myself cry until I reached my car. And even then, I only allowed 3 tears before I wiped my face and started the engine. I wasn't going to fall apart. Not for him. Not for anyone. The phone call came that evening. Nora Clark? The voice was deep, smooth, dangerous. This is Dante Rivera. I nearly dropped my phone. Everyone in the territory knew that name. Dante Rivera, the alpha who controlled the Northside territories, the wolf they whispered about in frightened voices, the man Marcus had spent years trying to compete with. How did you get this number? I make it my business to know things. I could hear the smile in his voice. I also make it my business to know when talented people are being wasted. I hear you're about to be a free agent. Word traveled fast in the pack world. Too fast. I'm not interested in being anyone's employee, I said carefully. Good, because I'm not interested in having an employee. A pause. I'm interested in having a partner. You don't know anything about me. I know you built Blackwood Industries from a struggling local pack business into a multi-million-dollar enterprise. I know you negotiated the Riverside Territory Treaty that everyone said was impossible. I know Marcus Blackwood is an idiot who doesn't deserve you. His voice hardened on the last sentence. And I know that mixed blood or not, you're an alpha in your own right. One who's been hiding her true nature for far too long. My breath caught. How do you? I told you. I make it my business to know things. He paused. Meet me tomorrow. Rosewood Cafe, noon. Just a conversation. If you're not interested after that, I'll never bother you again. And if I don't come? Then I'll respect your choice. Another pause, longer this time. But I think you will come. Because you're angry, Nora. And anger, properly channeled, can build empires. Or burn them down. He hung up before I could respond. I stared at my phone for a long time, my heart racing. This was dangerous. Dante Rivera was dangerous. Everything about this screamed trap, manipulation, revenge plot. But God help me. I wanted to go. He was already there when I arrived, sitting at a corner table in the back. Even in casual clothes, dark jeans, and a fitted shirt, he commanded attention. Power rolled off him in waves that made other customers unconsciously shift away. Dante Rivera was nothing like Marcus. Where Marcus was golden and bright, all charisma and charm, Dante was dark intensity. Black hair, sharp features, eyes that saw too much. You came, he said, standing as I approached. Old-fashioned manners from a very modern predator. I'm curious, I admitted, sitting down. But that doesn't mean I'm interested. Fair enough. He signaled the waitress, who hurried over with barely concealed nervousness. What would you like? Just coffee. Black. He ordered the same, then leaned back, studying me with those unsettling eyes. You're not what I expected. What did you expect? Someone broke in, crying, begging Marcus to take her back. A slight smile. Instead, you look ready to go to war. Maybe I am. Good. He pulled out a folder from the bag beside his chair. Because I have a proposition for you. Blackwood Industries is expanding into the Riverside Development Project next month. A project you designed. I nodded slowly. It was supposed to be my project. I spent 2 years on the planning. Marcus is going to fail. Dante said it with complete certainty. He doesn't understand the territorial politics. He doesn't have the relationships with the local packs. And from what I understand, he's planning to put Elena in charge of community relations. I couldn't help my harsh laugh. Elena hasn't lived in this territory in 6 years. She doesn't know anyone. Exactly. He pushed a folder toward me. I have the Riverside West project. Parallel territory, similar scope. With your expertise, I could complete it in half the time and at twice the success rate. And in doing so, make Marcus's project look like amateur hour. I opened the folder. The plans were good, very good, but incomplete in all the ways my expertise could fill. Why? I asked, looking up. Why do you want to help me hurt Marcus? Who says I'm trying to help you? Dante's smile was sharp. I'm trying to help myself. Marcus has been a thorn in my side for years. This is business. You destroying him is just a pleasant bonus. At least he was honest. And what do I get out of this? 40% ownership in the Riverside West project. A seat on my company's board. Full control over strategy and development. He paused. And the satisfaction of watching Marcus realize he threw away the only thing that made him successful. It was a good offer. Too good. What's the catch? The catch, Dante said slowly, is that this will destroy any chance you have of reconciliation with Marcus. Once you do this, you're making a clear choice. You're saying that you're not just walking away, you're declaring war. There's nothing to reconcile, I said. He made his choice when he chose Elena. Maybe. But right now, you could still go back. Beg. Plead. Maybe convince him he's making a mistake. Dante's eyes held mine. Work with me and that door closes forever. I thought about Marcus's cold voice. Elena's triumphant smile. 5 years of my life dismissed in 3 paragraphs. When do we start? Dante's smile was fierce and approving. Right now. The next 2 months were chaos. I threw myself into the Riverside West project with everything I had. Every contact I'd built, every relationship I'd nurtured, every strategy I'd developed, I used it all. Dante gave me complete freedom, and I didn't waste a second of it. We were magnificent together. His ruthless business sense combined with my territorial knowledge created something unstoppable. Where Marcus stumbled with bureaucracy, we glided through it. Where his project faced community resistance, ours was welcomed with open arms. I barely thought about Marcus at all. That was a lie. I thought about him constantly, but the sharp pain had dulled to a cold determination. I wanted him to see what he'd thrown away. I wanted him to regret every word of that rejection letter. I wanted him to hurt the way I'd hurt. You're smiling. Dante observed one evening as we reviewed progress reports. That's either very good or very bad. Marcus's project just got delayed another 3 weeks, I said. Permitting issues, which you predicted would happen, which I know would happen because I wrote the original strategy. He's following my playbook, but Elena keeps making changes that create problems. I felt a savage satisfaction. She's trying to prove she's valuable, but she doesn't understand how any of this works. Dante was quiet for a moment. You know he's been asking about you. My head snapped up. What, Marcus? He's been making inquiries, trying to find out what you're doing, who you're working with. Dante's expression was unreadable. He knows you're behind his problems, but he can't prove it. Something warm and painful twisted in my chest. I don't care. Another lie. Dante said softly. You still love him. I loved who I thought he was. I corrected. That man doesn't exist. Maybe he never did. Maybe. Dante stood, walking to the window. But Nora, you need to decide what you really want. Revenge or closure? Because those are two different things. I didn't have an answer. The full moon ceremony came too fast and too slow. I stood at the edge of the gathering ground, watching Marcus and Elena prepare for their bonding ritual. She looked beautiful in traditional white, her pure bloodline on full display. He looked tired, older than when I'd left. You don't have to be here, Dante murmured beside me. He'd insisted on coming, though I'd told him it wasn't necessary. Yes, I do, I said. I need to see this, to know it's really over. The ceremony began. Words I'd heard 100 times, now directed at someone else. Marcus's voice was steady as he pledged himself to Elena. Her response was triumphant. But when the bond formed, when the magic that should have sealed them together took hold, something went wrong. Elena gasped, her face twisting in pain. Marcus stumbled backward, confusion and hurt clear on his face. It's not. Elena's voice choked. This isn't right. It's not. The truth came out in broken pieces. Elena had lied. She wasn't his true mate. She'd used potions and manipulation to fake the connection, hoping that a bonding ceremony would make it real. It hadn't worked. The pack erupted in chaos. Accusations flew. Elena tried to defend herself, but her words fell on deaf ears. She'd betrayed an alpha, lied to the entire pack, and manipulated sacred traditions. Marcus stood frozen in the center of it all, his world collapsing around him. And I felt nothing. No satisfaction. No triumph. Just emptiness. Let's go, I said to Dante. Are you sure? This is your moment. Your vindication. This isn't vindication, I said quietly. This is just sad. We turned to leave, but Marcus's voice stopped me. Nora! Wait. I turned slowly. He stood there, still in his ceremonial robes, looking lost and broken. I'm sorry, he said. I'm so sorry. I was wrong. About everything. About Elena, about us. About stop, I said gently. Marcus, I forgive you. I do. But that doesn't mean I'm coming back. But if Elena wasn't my true mate, then maybe we could know. The word was firm, final. You didn't choose Elena because she was your true mate. You chose her because she was perfect, pure-blooded, what you thought you deserved. I took a breath. And maybe you do deserve someone like that. But I deserve someone who chooses me. Not because I'm convenient, or useful, or the best option available, but because I'm me, mixed blood and all. I did choose you, he said desperately, for 5 years until something shinier came along. I smiled sadly. I don't hate you, Marcus. I'm not even angry anymore. But I'm done being someone's second choice. I walked away then, Dante silent beside me. That was brave, he said when we reached his car. That was necessary, I corrected. He drove me home, and we sat in comfortable silence for a while. So what now? Dante finally asked, revenge accomplished. The project is almost complete. What does Nora Clark do next? I thought about it. I really thought about it. I think, I said slowly, I will build something of my own. Not for revenge. Not to prove anything to Marcus. Just, for me. Dante smiled, a real smile. Not the sharp business one I was used to. I think that's a perfect plan. You're still welcome to be my partner, I added. If you want. I do want, he said. But Nora? When we're partners, We're equals. No more hiding what you are. No more playing small to make someone else comfortable. Deal, I said. We shook hands, and I felt something settle in my chest. Not love, not yet. Maybe not ever with Dante. But possibility, partnership, respect. I'd spent 5 years being what Marcus needed. Being the perfect mate, the invisible support, the woman behind the successful man. Now it was time to be what I needed. And that woman, she wasn't anyone's second choice. She wasn't hiding her alpha nature. She wasn't waiting for someone else to see her value. That woman was going to build her own empire. And she was going to do it on her own terms. The rejection that had felt like an ending, it was just the beginning. And I was ready.
If you felt this story, you're not alone. Like the video, subscribe, and maybe, just maybe, you'll see this again. Let's keep these stories alive together.